Hey everyone, I wanted to wait until the weekend was over before posting this because I wanted to give you all a chance to watch Black Adam. But now that plenty of you have, I wanted to make it official that I am back as Superman.
Welcome back, Superman.
The character means so much to me, and it's been 5 years now. There is such a bright future ahead for the character, and I'm so excited to tell a story with an enormously joyful Superman.
I have really wanted to see a new standalone Superman movie with Henry Cavill for a long time, and although I am disappointed that he's not going to get one, I have to say, I understand it, I expected it, and a small part of me actually wanted it. And I think it was exactly the right call for James Gunn to let go of Henry Cavill, and let me tell you, once it was done, I wasn't hurt by his exit one bit. Now, I definitely felt bad for Henry Cavill that he was brought back and then told that he's not, but honestly, starting with a fresh slate is the best thing that DC can do right now, because their foundation that was built by Zack Snyder and the previous Warner Brothers regime was completely rushed, unstable, and an ill-conceived mess, especially in the case of Batman. They fast-tracked his story to the future, leaving all his best stories behind him. They just fast-tracked and skipped all of it so they could very quickly get to an older Batman, and that was not the right decision. That should have been DC's Phase 3 or something, not part of their Phase 1, and they even fast-tracked the death of Superman, which really brought down the super emotional possibilities for his death in a future movie. Now let's say they did keep Henry Cavill and they made Man of Steel 2. Then what? I mean, we could have had a great movie, we could have gotten a bad movie, we could have gotten something that was okay, but after any of these outcomes, where does the DC universe go after that? The universe is still all over the place and is built upon a very flawed and unstructured foundation. I mean, it's getting to a point that even us comic book fans are getting confused, and if we are getting confused, then I can't imagine how the general audience feels. So at this point, the best thing to do is to just shut it down and start over, just like the Batman did, and it will be a much easier and much more appealing path to follow than DC's current path. I mean, so far Matt Reeves is able to keep his Batman franchise to himself as a standalone Batman universe, which I am very happy about, and although I loved Ben Affleck as Batman, I gotta say, having a new Batman franchise with a younger Batman is really exciting, and the movie itself was amazing, and I am even more excited now to see where this future Batman franchise goes, as unlike the current Snyderverse, he's been given a fresh start and has been built on a very solid foundation, and they haven't fast-tracked all of his best stories. Now, wouldn't it feel great if we had the same thing for Superman? Just like Affleck, we love Cavill as Superman, but won't having a new Superman be exciting just like it was having a new Batman? A version of the character that is set in his very early days and has so many stories ahead of him. Some people cannot just ignore Cavill and Affleck, and I can sympathize with that, but for those of us that are open to a fresh start and a reboot, we have such an exciting path going forward. It worked great for the Batman with potential R-rated spin-off shows and a sequel coming out, and now we can potentially have the same for Superman. It has even been said that James Gunn will be focusing on a young Clark Kent, and it will not be an origin again, just like Matt Reeves the Batman. So it seems that we are going to get the exact same The Batman treatment with our next version of Superman. Maybe they'll call it The Superman or The Man of Steel. So I think the possibilities are so exciting. And of course, if Henry Cavill is going, then that means that the rest of the current Justice League are all going too. And I will be sad that we won't get another Shazam after Fury of the Gods, as Shazam is the only superhero comedy movie that I got along with, as it balanced humor with very serious drama, and if that wasn't enough, it had horror that went so close to being rated R if they just added some blood. It really was the only family superhero comedy movie that I really enjoyed. The MCU ones never worked for me, so I will be sad to see it go. But that being said, if you're gonna get rid of Superman, then it only makes sense to get rid of them all, especially this one. And James Gunn will have to cancel his own stuff as well, such as any Suicide Squad sequel and Peacemaker Season 2. It will be a very bad look if he doesn't. So I am looking forward to the new DC universe, and although I am sad that we never got to see Henry Cavill in a hopeful Superman movie, the fact that it didn't happen is not James Gunn's fault. It was the fault of the incompetent executives that have been running DC all these years. They said no to Matthew Vaughn when he pitched making a Superman movie, and they said no to Christopher McQuarrie when he pitched his idea with Henry Cavill in the room, and they said no to Rocksteady when they wanted to make a Superman game after Batman Arkham Knight. Hence, we now have a Suicide Squad game, which could be great, but nobody asked for. So blame the executives executives that have wasted all of these years where we could have had multiple Superman projects at this point. And also blame Walter Hamada. He constantly said no to Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, and instead insisted on Supergirl being his replacement, and also insisted on a black Superman. So don't listen to the reports that he was going to bring back Henry Cavill at a later date. He's only having his people say that to save face now that he has been let go. He never planned to bring him back. So blame them, not James Gunn. And honestly, if I was James Gunn and I was handed the keys to DC, I would have done exactly the same thing. You need to set up a solid foundation and then build upon that. And let's face it, Man of Steel was a good starting point, but Batman vs Superman, where they introduced Batman and Wonder Woman in the same movie, was such a desperate move and made for a very flawed foundation. So I personally am excited to see what James Gunn does. Let's just hope he allows the movies to maintain the tone of what has made DC so great and not have them all start cracking out of character jokes. That is my only real concern with his involvement, as well as the cheaper looking costume designs in his projects. But regardless, I wish him the best of luck. And although I was hoping for a Henry Cavill Superman movie, I am of the opinion who fully understands why James Gunn had to cut the cord and why Henry Cavill is no longer Superman. But give it a handful of years and he might show up in a multiverse movie. Identical, exactly the same. They're taking shots from the previous movies and they're basically like copying and pasting them. It's like, is that how quick in production they're trying to get with these films? That they're just taking the old shots now? And there's more of them. Another one is when Ant-Man... So, what do you think of Henry Cavill leaving? Do you agree with my position, partly agree, or do you just think I'm completely wrong? Hit that like and subscribe button and be sure to let me know. And a big thanks must go to my patrons. You guys have no idea how much you are helping to support the channel. All your donations are going to my next computer, and once it arrives, I'll be creating even more content exclusively for you that I am unable to do with my current computer. And thanks to all my viewers who have been with me for so long. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. Definitely stay tuned as I have plenty more content on the way, and I will catch all of you very soon. Take care.